Hi, I'd like to go over all the parts you need for an amplifier installation regardless of the manufacturer, okay? I know we can all say, I'm buying an amplifier, I'm buying this, it's all good, but regardless if it's a 4-channel, a monoblock, a 5-channel, an 8-channel, it doesn't matter. Today I want to go over with the parts that you will need for an installation. I'm going to be, in this case, I'm going to be using a soundstage amplifier kit, and I'm going to tell you why I like them. One thing is in this case, it says 600 watt amplifier. Okay, I'll turn it for you guys. So why I joke about that, but is I have a 500 watt monoblock. So I know that I've bought wire that is rated for that amount of wattage. We can debate it. We can say, do I need 8 gauge, 10 gauge, 60? It's okay. We can debate all that all day long. But now I know I'm buying a kit that's rated for my wattage. The other thing is, regardless, all these amp kits, regardless of if they come in this plastic, be careful when opening these things, guys. You're going to cut yourself with a knife or whatever. Just be careful opening them. Now, all that being said, you have to plan your installation. And why I say that is that you might put it in yourself or you might get professional installation, but hey, you might want to try. It can be a fun and satisfying little project for yourself, but you have to plan. So, for example, I'm using this MTX amplifier right now, this one right here. And what this comes with is a bass knob, so I can turn the bass up and down. Now, this is all included in the box, but once again, you have to plan the installation. So what I mean is this cord has to go from, bear with me, right here to here. So it goes in between. So when I'm doing my installation planning, I know I have to run this cord wherever I mount this. So for example, let's use underneath the driver's side seat. Okay, so I have to run this cable as well as some other cables we're going to go by to this amplifier underneath the seat. Once again, planning. Okay. So next one is speaker wire. Bear with me. Speaker wire. This kit comes with 30 feet of 16 gauge wire. Now, you don't want to use too thin of wire or too small of wire. It's all about kind of having a pipe and how much water you can send down that pipe. I don't want to get into the weeds and go to it all, but at least you know it's 16 gauge, and this application is rated for a 600 watt amplifier. It's really good for us right now. Don't use super thin, no 18, no 20, don't. Okay? Consequently, you don't need super big as well when you're under 1,000 watts. But this, for example, if I'm going to mount this underneath the driver's side seat, is I have to go from the seat all the way to the back to where I'm mounting my subwoofer. And that's why I want to make sure you have some speaker wire. So during installation, and what's nice about this kit, this is all included. Also, bear with me, is a turn-on lead. So it's a coiled up bunch of wire. All this does is tell the amplifier, hey, I need you to turn on now. Consequently, hey, I need you to turn off now. So if I'm parking the car, I don't want the amplifier on. I don't want to drain any battery. So this will normally go, if you have an Alpine, a Kenwood, or whatever aftermarket stereo, this connects to a blue or blue-white wire, and this tells the amplifier to turn on. So bear with me. This is a power connection, a ground connection. This little wire here is your turn-on lead. So this is what says, hey, it's time to turn on now. Now, if your OEM or original equipment from the manufacturer, Honda, Nissan, BMW, whatever, does not have a place to send a signal up to say, hey, let's turn on now, I would consult professional installation or deep diver on the internet, just like how you found me. Now, the other one is here. Is a ground wire and a power wire, okay? So this one goes to your vehicle's chassis or the frame or the body of it all. And this one goes, like I'll show you, it'll be one of these connections. And this goes from here to here to part of the car. And I would nut and bolt this or do something that's super secure. Don't just rifle a screw, because cars vibrate and it'll come loose and it'll have problems. But this is to go to somewhere in your car where it's solid metal, but once again, this kit actually does include, though, a pre-crimped wire. So you only have to make the connection with the Allen key, which is included in the box, which is pretty nice as well. Power wire. For some vehicles, this is going to be your biggest challenge, okay? So as I was getting into it with you, we can say what wattage or you need an 8 gauge kit. It's just the gauge of the wire is lower the number most of the time, means it's a bigger wire. So for example, this is an 8 gauge, a 4 gauge is about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so, but since I know I bought the correct kit for my wattage, like the soundstage kit, I know this wire is rated for 600 watts. And once again, it comes with dig it out, a pre-connected end as well. So I don't need any crimpers. I don't have to solder it, anything. This goes directly to your battery. Now your battery might be underneath the hood or the bonnet if you're in the UK, or it might be located in the trunk. Now, a lot of amplifiers nowadays, a lot of batteries are located in the trunk as well. You'll have to find the battery within your vehicle. But the one thing is that you need is a fuse holder. And bear with me. Here it is. Off camera, of course. It's right here. This is a fuse holder and a fuse. Just like you've probably maybe blown a fuse in your car, like your cigarette lighter during the holidays. Someone's done something and shorted it out, and you have to fix a fuse. Very simple. So what this does is this goes between your amplifier and the battery. Okay, so there's a wire that's going to go from your battery to the amp. Very self-explanatory. I think you can envision that. You must be smart enough to figure that out, else you wouldn't be here. But what happens if the car is in an accident? And say, so I go from the battery, it goes through the firewall. The firewall is kind of between the brake of the passenger compartment, kind of where you sit and where the steering wheel is, and then where the engine is. You have to get through that. So you have to look for an empty hole to run through. You have to look for maybe a grommet. Like I said, this is where you have to spend a little bit of time, but plan out your installation, and usually you can find an empty spot. But if you got in an accident and your car went squish, okay, you would have a wire that's live. And it's not going to shock you. It's not going to kill you. But we want to protect you, any kind of sparks, any kind of fires or anything. And you can say, no, I'm not sensationalizing the idea. It's just how it is. And that's why we have fuses in the car from the factory. It's to protect the people inside and to protect the components. No different from this. So I want to make sure I have this between the battery and the firewall, or wherever I go through the metal, I want to have a fuse. So in the case of I got in an accident, or hey, someone spilled a cup of coffee on this. Hey, I opened up in the trunk and some snow fell on it. I mean, whatever. If there's a problem with the amplifier or a problem with the car, we want the dollar fuse to blow to protect your investment of the audio system and to invest in the investment of your car. This is the one thing people don't talk about on the internet, is this is a very important thing. I'm not trying to scare you. Like I said, I want to tell you what parts you need regardless of the manufacturer, okay? So right now we've gone over the speaker wire, the turn-on lead, the power, and the ground, the all-important fuse holder, and all of the rings, like I said, are all pre-crimped, all done for you with this kit from Soundstage. The last part is the RCA cable. And you say, well, I've seen those kind of cables before, but bear with me. I'm going to bring this back around here. You'll see the red and the white here. Okay, so what happens is one end, you'll see in this case, this kit has red and the white. You'll see it has the two ends and it has Tech Flex. So these connect to here. And red consequently is right and white or black. It's white in this case is left. It also matches the colors, makes it a little bit easier. So these would connect to your Alpine, Sony, whatever aftermarket radio. Okay, but sometimes you won't have this. So you might, if you have an OEM radio, it's an original equipment from the manufacturer, Honda, Nissan, whatever, you will need an adapter. Okay, some sort of adapter. Now, in that case, it's called a high-level adapter. They call it a high-level to low-level. I know I'm getting too into the weeds for you, but if you don't have, and they look like this, okay, oh, sorry, they're a little bit like here, okay, then you'll have to get one of those devices. Okay, so like I said, I like the 600-watt kit from Soundstage because I get pre-terminated ends, I get a fuse holder, I get the RCAs, I get the speaker wire, everything. But regardless, plan your installation. Plan where you're going to run the cord for the bass knob for this amplifier, for example. Plan where you're going to run it all. Planning, and as G.I. Joe used to say, knowing is half the battle. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you need any help finding parts, or you have any, just different questions, I'll do my best to answer any questions, or I'll refer you to someone in the area that knows more than I do.